A star admired by millions falls in love with a high school student who barely knows the world of show business. What begins as an encounter worthy of a fairy tale ends up turning into a relationship they must hide from the cameras, from the fans, and even from the people closest to them. But when jealousy, the age difference, and a scandal threaten to destroy them, both will have to discover whether their love is truly enough to survive. The story begins with Hinata Hanazawa, a diligent, responsible student who is quite different from the girls who live thinking about romance. She usually gets good grades, helps at her parents' restaurant, and also takes care of her little sister when the adults are busy. In the mornings, she prepares breakfast for her, wakes her up patiently, and accompanies her before going to her own classes. At first glance, Hinata seems to have her life completely organized. However, behind that image of a perfect student hides a very romantic girl, although almost no one knows that side of her. She loves romantic movies, princess tales, and stories where an ordinary young woman finds a prince who changes her life. She knows those things almost never happen in reality, but even so, she enjoys imagining them. Her best friends are Hikari Isoyama and Akira Hamabe. Hikari knows almost all her secrets, while Akira has been in love with her since they were children. The problem is that Hinata has never realized it. To her, Akira is her lifelong friend, someone reliable who is always nearby when she needs him. He, on the other hand, keeps hoping that one day she will finally look at him in a different way. One night, while Hinata is telling her sister the story of Cinderella, the little girl stops paying attention and points at the television. On the screen appears Kid Iase, a famous actor and former member of a popular J-pop band. Kid has millions of admirers, a smile capable of stopping conversations, and the kind of perfect image that companies build around a star. Hinata, who barely knew who he was, stays staring at him completely fascinated. For the first time, she understands why so many girls lose their minds over him. That same night, she begins to imagine that Kid could be the Prince Charming from one of her stories, although she immediately laughs at herself. After all, he belongs to a world of cameras, red carpets, and fans, while she is still worried about exams and helping with the family business. But coincidence decides to bring those two worlds closer. Hikari calls her excitedly to tell her that the school has been chosen as the location for Kid's new movie. The production needs students to appear as extras, and anyone can sign up. Hinata tries to sound calm, but as soon as the call ends, she jumps with joy and agrees to participate. The next day, the students gather in a laboratory prepared for filming. Hikari talks non-stop about how handsome Kid is, while Hinata pretends she is not nervous. However, when she enters the classroom distractedly, she bumps directly into him. For a few seconds, she stays frozen, unable to say anything coherent. Kid apologizes naturally and gives her a smile before continuing with his work. To him, it seems like a small encounter, but Hinata is left completely disconnected from reality. Hikari later asks her if she managed to see him up close, and she answers that she did not even pay attention to him. The lie is so obvious that her friend can barely contain her laughter. Later, Hinata sees a can lying around and goes over to pick it up. At that moment, she discovers Kid watching the cheerleaders training. The elegant image she had built begins to break, because the famous actor seems much more immature and strange than he appeared on television. To make the situation worse, Hinata trips in front of him and ends up suffering enormous embarrassment. Kid makes a comment that is far too direct about her appearance, and she runs away, red from head to toe. That night, she even takes a measuring tape to check if he was right. Hinata does not know what to think. The supposed Prince Charming seems charming in front of the cameras, but outside them, he is shameless, playful, and very different from the character he sells to the public. Days later, Hinata goes to a shopping mall to get a plush toy she promised her sister. She tries several times to get it from a machine, but fails every time. When she is about to give up, a boy appears behind her and explains how to move the lever. Thanks to his instructions, she finally wins the prize. When she turns around to thank him, she discovers that it is Kid. This time, he does not have the attitude of an unreachable star. He simply looks like a tired young man trying to escape his routine for a while. Hinata shouts his name without thinking, attracting the attention of several fans. Kid reacts quickly, takes her hand, and runs with her until they find a place where they can hide. Hinata's heart beats so hard that she can barely speak. Kid tells her that he had a recording nearby, but he needed to clear his mind. She promises to stay silent about having found him there and also about the strange side she discovered at school. Before saying goodbye, she tells him that she has to go to the movies because she does not want to miss a romantic film. Kid notices that one of her shoes is broken, although he does not say anything. Hinata arrives at the theater just in time and sits down, convinced that that encounter was already enough excitement for the entire day. However, shortly afterward, Kid enters and takes the seat beside her. The two watch the movie together. Hinana explains that she likes romantic stories because, even if they are unrealistic, they make people believe in beautiful things again. She also confesses that Cinderella has always been one of her favorite tales. Kid listens to her with more attention than she expected. When they leave, Hinana tries to walk normally, but the broken shoe bothers her. Kid notices, takes off his own shoes, and offers them to her. She refuses because it would be too conspicuous to go home wearing a celebrity's shoes, but he insists until he convinces her. Hinana accepts and walks feeling as if she has just entered her own fairy tale. The surprise increases the next day. Amid the screams of the students, Kid appears at the school and walks directly to Hinana's classroom. He ignores all the girls trying to approach him and gives her a new pair of shoes. He even kneels down to help her put them on, comparing the scene to the story of Cinderella. Hinana does not know where to hide. Hikari is about to explode with excitement. Akira watches the scene with obvious discomfort, and the rest of the school starts inventing theories. To anyone, it seems like a romantic gesture. To Hinana, it is confirmation that Kid has not forgotten her. After class, she follows him to return the shoes he lent her. Kid writes a number on her hand and asks her to call him to tell him her name, because he still does not know what she is called. Hinana spends the rest of the day looking at the numbers as if they were a treasure. That night, she gathers courage and makes the call, but the number does not work. Her excitement quickly turns into disappointment. She thinks Kid only wanted to amuse himself at her expense and ends up washing her hand to erase any trace. Meanwhile, Kid has dinner with Shu Uchida, his ex-girlfriend and co-star in a new romantic movie. Shu is also famous, elegant, and belongs to the same world as him. The two seem to understand each other easily, something that later becomes one of Hinana's biggest insecurities. For now, Kid does not imagine that the wrong number has already hurt the student he cannot get out of his mind. The next day, his manager reminds him again that he must watch every move. Any photograph, rumor, or inappropriate encounter could affect campaigns, contracts, and movies. Kid listens without much interest until he sees Hinana walking. He gets out of the van and goes after her, completely ignoring the warnings. He asks why she did not call him. Hinana shows him the call record and tells him to stop playing with her feelings. Kid realizes that he wrote an old number and tries to correct the mistake, but she is already too embarrassed. She confesses that she used to like him, although now she prefers to keep her distance. Kid does not let her leave without clarifying what he feels. He comes closer, gives her a brief kiss while he is still wearing a face mask, and confesses that he became interested in her from the first day. Hinana stays frozen. Not only has the actor she admired from television just kissed her, but he is also telling her it was love at first sight. The situation, however, is much more complicated than it seems. Kid is an adult star, with a career exposed to public judgment, while Hinana is 16 years old and still a high school student. That difference makes the relationship delicate and forces both of them to maintain boundaries and hide any closeness. Although Kid at that moment only seems to be thinking about the excitement of being with her. Hinana finally tells him her name and agrees to see him again. From that moment on begins a relationship that seems taken from her favorite movies, but that must remain hidden. They cannot walk hand in crowded places, post photographs, or tell just anyone the truth, because a single image could turn into a scandal. For their first date, Kid sends a van to pick her up and takes her to his luxurious apartment. Hinana arrives wearing a beautiful dress, nervous about entering a world so different from her own. He assures her that he had never brought another girl to his house, which makes her feel even more special. The two have lunch, talk, and watch a movie. Kid tries to joke by getting too close, but Hinana makes it clear that she is nervous and he does not go any further. Before they can keep talking, the manager enters and finds them together. His reaction is immediate, because he knows everything that relationship could cause. When he asks who Hinana is, Kid calmly answers that she is his girlfriend. She is as surprised as the manager himself. The situation gets worse when the man discovers that she is 16 years old. He is not only worried about Kid's professional image, but also about the age difference and the responsibility the actor must assume. The manager warns him that a relationship like that could destroy years of work and place Hinana under public attention that no student should have to endure. Kid, in love and stubborn, responds that he does not plan to let others decide for him. However, from that moment on, it becomes clear that the romance will have to remain secret. Hinana returns home floating with happiness because Kid called her his girlfriend. Her excitement does not last long, since he has to begin another filming, and several days pass without them being able to see each other. Meanwhile, she helps Akira at his family's flower shop. There, the boy tries to confess what he feels, but he does it in such a casual way that Hinata thinks he is joking. Akira has been by her side for years, knows her problems, and is always willing to protect her. Unlike Kid, he can see her without hiding and accompany her without anyone taking out a camera. But Hinata still does not understand the depth of his feelings, because all her attention is on the star who has just turned her life into a secret story. Shortly after, Hinata has to deliver a bouquet to a production company and discovers that it is the set of Kid's new movie. She arrives just as he is filming a romantic scene with Shu. Although she knows the kiss is part of the work, she cannot help feeling as if her heart falls to the floor. Shu looks perfect beside Kid. Both are famous, adults, and have a previous history. Hinata, on the other hand, is still wearing a school uniform and cannot even publicly say that she is his girlfriend. The comparison awakens all her insecurities. Kid sees her walking away and runs after her. He takes her to a private place, far from the cameras, and explains that what happened was only part of the script. Hinata assures him that she understands and promises not to interfere with his work. He tries to reassure her with an affectionate gesture and, dominated by jealousy, makes it clear that he also does not want to see her too close to other boys. Shu witnesses the moment from a distance. Although she tries to act calmly, Hinata's presence awakens feelings she thought she had overcome. In this way, the secret romance begins to fill with rivals, doubts, and scenes that neither of them knows how to handle maturely. Akira's birthday becomes another decisive moment. Hikari encourages him to finally confess his feelings, but his plans are ruined when Kid unexpectedly appears at Hinata's house. In front of her friends, the actor reveals that the two of them are dating. Hikari is delighted by the news, but Akira feels everything he had been hoping for collapse. When he is left alone with Kid, he asks him if he really loves Hinata or if he is only living a passing emotion. He warns him that he will not allow him to hurt her. Kid understands that he has a rival. He replies that his feelings are serious and that he does not plan to step aside. Akira, far from giving up, assures him that he will keep fighting because he has known Hinata for much longer and knows that she deserves someone capable of accompanying her openly. From then on, jealousy increases. Kid watches every gesture between the friends, and Akira questions whether a star with a full schedule can give Hinata the peace she needs. She ends up in the middle of two different forms of love: Kid's intense and secret excitement, and Akira's constant presence. Despite the risks, Hinata continues visiting Kid's apartment. On one occasion, she finds him shirtless and becomes so embarrassed that she does not know where to look. He has fun flirting, but respects her discomfort. Then he gives her a copy of the keys and tells her that she can go there whenever she feels lonely. To Hinata, that gift means Kid wants to make a real place for her in his life. However, it also brings her closer to the actor's secrets. One night, she discovers that he is hurt by the breakup with his former bandmates. Kid was the leader of the group, but he left suddenly, and the others interpreted his decision as a betrayal. Hinata begins to understand that behind the famous smile, there is a young man full of losses. He does not tell everything he feels and often pushes people away to protect his image. She wants to be someone with whom he can show himself vulnerable, although she still does not know the true reason why he left music. At school, several girls comment that Kid and Shu make a perfect couple and that they will probably end up together again. Hinata tries to ignore them, but the comparison affects her. Shu is beautiful, famous, and can accompany him publicly. She cannot even receive a call from him without looking around. Determined to prove that she trusts her boyfriend, Hinata uses the keys and goes to visit him. When she enters, she finds women's heels. Before understanding what is happening, she sees Shu near Kid and believes that the two have resumed their relationship. Hurt, she runs away without listening to explanations. Kid tries to catch up to her, but Hinata refuses to talk. She feels that maybe everyone was right and that a star like him could never take a student seriously. She spends several days shut away, convinced that her fairy tale was only a fantasy. Akira visits her and hugs her when he sees her crying. He asks her to stop allowing Kid to destroy her peace and finally clearly confesses that he is in love with her. Hinata remains silent because she had never thought of her friend that way. Akira does not pressure her. He tells her she can take all the time she needs and leaves, although his confession changes the relationship between them. Now Hinata knows that she has someone near her who has loved her for years, just when the person she chose seems to have deceived her. Shortly after, Shu looks for Hinata. At first, she asks her to stop seeing Kid because she still wants to get him back. Hinata admits that she feels small when comparing herself to her, but she also explains that she wants to know the real Kid, not just the actor admired by the public. Hinata's sincerity makes Shu change her attitude. Then she reveals that she was the one who kissed Kid and that he did not kiss her back. She also admits that she asked him to get back together, but he rejected her because he is in love with Hinana. Shu understands that she can no longer cling to the past and decides to step aside. Kid visits Hinana that same night. He apologizes for not having explained the situation to her earlier and recognizes that a hidden relationship can only work if there is trust. He confesses that at first he felt curiosity, but every day he fell more in love with the way she cares for her family, her responsibility, and the sincere way she treats him. Hinana also apologizes for running away. The two make peace, although they understand that they still have too many obstacles. Kid cannot go out with her freely, so he rents an entire amusement park so they can have a date without cameras or fans. For a few hours, they enjoy themselves like a normal couple. They get on rides, eat ice cream, take private photographs, and laugh without worrying about rumors. Hinana feels that she is finally living the fairy tale she always imagined. Before saying goodbye, Kid gives her a necklace with a small shoe, remembering the first time he helped her. He tells her that he is happy to be her boyfriend and that he wants to keep walking beside her. Hinana keeps the gift as a symbol of a relationship that only a few people know about. For a while, everything seems to work. They meet in discreet places, watch movies, and spend some weekends together. However, keeping a hidden love starts to become exhausting. Hinana cannot talk about him freely, while Kid lives worried about photographers and contracts. Finally, what everyone feared happens. A media outlet publishes that Kid has been dating a high school student for some time. Although Hinana's image appears blurred, the details are enough to cause a storm. Social media fills with criticism, production companies demand answers, and reporters surround the actor. The news also makes it clear that the relationship was not only secret because of Kid's fame. The age and power difference between them creates a legitimate concern. Hinana is still a student, while he is an adult with experience, resources, and enormous influence over her life. Suddenly, the romantic fairy tale becomes a problem neither of them can ignore. Kid tries to go see her with a gift for her birthday, but his manager stops him to inform him that journalists are already waiting. Hinana calls him without getting an answer and begins to fear that her presence will destroy the career he has worked for years to build. The next morning, the manager visits Hinana. He does not blame her or treat her like an enemy. He explains that his responsibility is to protect Kid, but he also knows that she is being dragged into a situation too big for her. Then he reveals the true story of the former band. Kid did not abandon the group simply because he preferred acting. He developed a serious throat problem that prevented him from continuing to sing. He needed treatment and surgery, while his bandmates were preparing for an international tour. In order not to stop everyone's dream, he decided to leave and carry the rejection alone. Hinana understands that Kid already sacrificed an important part of his life to protect the people he loved. She also understands that now their relationship can take away the second chance he found in acting. Although she loves him, she begins to think that staying by his side at that moment could cause him more harm. She meets with him on her birthday. Through tears, she thanks him for being her first great love, for showing her a different world, and for turning some of her days into a true fairy tale. Then she tells him that they must break up. Kid tries to convince her that they can face it together, but Hinana has already made a decision. She does not want him to lose another career, and she also does not want to continue being a student hidden behind closed doors. Although they both love each other, the circumstances, the age difference, and public pressure make the relationship no longer healthy for either of them. Shortly after, Kid holds a press conference. He acknowledges that he was dating a high school student and assures everyone that the relationship is over. To protect Hinana's identity, he speaks coldly and declares that he will not get involved in that way again. Hinana listens to his words from afar. She knows they are meant to close the scandal, but even so, she feels each phrase break something inside her. She takes refuge on the school rooftop, where Akira finds her crying. He does not take advantage of her pain to demand a chance. He simply hugs her and tells her that she can cry as much as she needs. Akira proves that loving also means accompanying without forcing, even when the person you love is still thinking about someone else. 3 years pass. Kid rebuilds his career and becomes an internationally recognized actor. He wins awards, travels through different countries, and proves that he managed to overcome one of the most difficult moments of his life. However, despite the success, he never forgets Hinana. She also grows. She continues studying, matures, and maintains a close relationship with Akira, although she cannot fully return his feelings. Every time she watches one of Kid's movies, she remembers the shoes, the empty park, and the necklace she kept throughout all that time. Akira ends up accepting a painful truth. No matter how much he loves her, Hinana's heart still belongs to Kid. Instead of insisting, he writes a letter to the actor. He tells him that Hinana never stopped watching his movies and that, although she tried to move forward, she still remembers him. Along with the letter, Akira leaves a movie ticket and creates the opportunity for them to meet again. His decision shows a generous form of love. He prefers to see her happy with someone else rather than hold her back in a relationship where she could not give herself completely. When Kid reads the letter, he leaves the celebration and runs toward the movie theater. He arrives too late and thinks he has lost his only chance. However, as he walks away disappointed, Hinana comes down the stairs and the two meet face to face after 3 years. Kid explains that he promised himself he would return when he could approach her without hiding her and when both of them were in a more balanced stage of their lives. He did not want to repeat the mistakes of the past or build another relationship based only on impulses and secrets. Then he gives her a pair of sparkling shoes. The gift connects with the first day he appeared at her school and with the Cinderella story that united them. But this time, he does not promise her a perfect world. He proposes walking together toward a future where they can make decisions with more maturity. Hinana accepts. Emotional. After years of separation, both give each other a new chance, no longer as the star who hit a student, but as two people who have grown, learned from their mistakes, and understood that love needs more than emotion. It is also worth looking at how Hinana changes throughout the entire story. At first, she believes that meeting Kid is like receiving an unexpected prize. He is famous, attractive, and seems to have everything anyone could want. That is why, in several moments, Hinana stops asking herself what she needs and focuses only on not losing him. That insecurity explains why Shu's presence affects her so much and why any silence from Kid becomes a threat. Kid also does not know how to love in a calm way. He is used to everyone admiring him, but not to showing his weaknesses. When he feels jealous of Akira, he tries to mark territory instead of speaking sincerely. When Hinana gets angry because of Shu, he expects her to trust him without first giving her all the information. His fame allows him to organize impressive dates, close an entire park, and buy beautiful gifts, but none of those things replaces a clear conversation. Hikari observes the romance with enthusiasm because it seems like a story taken from a movie. She represents those who watch from the outside and only notice the beautiful moments. The shoes, the van, the gifts, and the excitement of dating a celebrity. Akira, on the other hand, sees the part that hurts. He witnesses the absences, the doubts, and the nights when Hinana ends up crying over a relationship that she can almost never live normally. That does not mean Akira is perfect or that Hinana should choose him only because he was always close. The drama also makes it clear that gratitude is not the same as love. Hinana deeply appreciates her friend, but she cannot force herself to feel for him what she feels for Kid. Akira takes time to accept it, although in the end he shows maturity by helping her reunite with the person she truly loves. Kid's manager also seems harsh at first, but his concerns make sense. He understands that a celebrity does not live isolated from consequences. Every decision affects contracts, production teams, and people who depend on his work. In addition, he knows that Hinana is a minor and that media pressure can harm her in a way that Kid, from his privileged position, cannot fully understand. That is why the separation, although painful, ends up being necessary. It does not work as a romantic punishment, but as a pause for both of them to grow. Kid needs to learn to take responsibility for his decisions and rebuild his career without using love as an excuse. Hinana needs to finish her studies, develop her own identity, and discover that her value does not depend on being chosen by a star. When they meet 3 years later, the Shu scene has a different meaning. The first time, Kid appeared like a prince capable of solving everything. The second time, he no longer tries to rescue her. He offers to walk by her side. That difference turns the reunion into something more mature than the secret romance at the beginning and explains why Hinana can accept without returning to exactly the same fairy tale. In the end, the happy memories do not disappear just because they existed at a complicated time. Hinana can value what she lived without denying the mistakes, and Kid can recognize that his feelings were real without justifying every decision. That balanced perspective is the most valuable part of the ending. The drama does not claim that suffering is proof of love, but that some relationships need distance in order to stop hurting. When two people meet again after growing, they must build something new, not continue where they left off. Only then can the second attempt be more conscious, free, and respectful for both of them. And so this drama ends, leaving us an important lesson. Falling in love can feel like entering a fairy tale, but no relationship should force us to ignore differences in age, power, or experience. True affection also requires responsibility, boundaries, honesty, and respect for the stage each person is living. Hinana learned that she should not lose herself inside the world of someone famous. Kid understood that protecting a person does not mean hiding them, but making responsible decisions and thinking about the consequences. Akira, for his part, proved that loving does not always mean being chosen. Sometimes it also means setting someone free when you know their heart is somewhere else. Fame can make a relationship seem perfect from the outside, but behind the cameras, insecurities, jealousy, and wounds still exist. That is why, before chasing a movie like Romance, it is important to remember that the healthiest love is not the one that makes us live in secret, but the one that allows us to grow without fear, keep our identity, and walk beside someone when both are ready.